Previously on the Lord of the Rings series, the devastating scars of the last Alliance battle, Lashkar in Hobbiton, 4K aerial view of the Shire, and 111th birthday party of Bilbo Baggins. Now we are moving on to some spooky scenes. The spectacular verses of Saruman and Gandalf, the horror scene where the hobbits hide from the ring wraith, then attacked by the ring wraiths at Weathertop. We begin with the Isengard scenes, where Gandalf sets out to consult Saruman and is captured. Isengard scenes were shot in several different locations in New Zealand. In order of the scenes, the first scene is where Gandalf was riding quickly toward Isengard. For this location, I am heading to Dartriva, where many Isengard scenes are located on the South Island. The mountains you see behind Gandalf are around the Dartriva. I will explain more detailed information about this Isengard location in another video. Now we shall go to the Gardens of Isingard. The Gardens of Isingard was filmed in Harcourt Park, half an hour by drive in the north of Wellington. People spent their time in peace today, but the reality was once quite different. This demonic land where green had to turn grey, trees uprooted, and fires burning was once the headquarters of the evil Saruman, who drenched humanity in blood. Finding locations in Harcourt Park is pretty easy. After parking my car, I reached the first location by walking in 2 minutes. That point is where Gandalf was riding toward Orthanc. It's hard to recognize the background at the first look because they flipped the movie frame in this scene. So to get the right perspective, flip the movie scene and find the right camera angle, edit the pictures, at the final step, flip the whole work over together, bam! This is the current view of the Gardens of Isingard. The present day view of the Gardens of Isingard. No longer evilness reigns in this lands. But if you cock an eye at the environment, you can still hear the terrible sounds of the dead orcs. The second location of the Isengard Garden is only 100 meters away from the first location. A kind reminder, make sure your camera is fixed properly, otherwise it might fall. This area is where Gandalf and Saruman walk together in the garden. It is possible to see the similarities, and of course, the trees seem to have grown quite a bit in 22 years. The mountains in the background were added to the scene later digitally. The location of these mountains is the Dartriva, the same mountains that appear behind when Gandalf was riding. This is clearly evident when I compare the pictures. Peter Jackson is here to explaining to Saruman how to walk with his staff. After Gacha Peter Jackson's directions trolley, I reenacted this scene.
All these long years it was in the Shire, under my very nose.
And yet you did not have the wit to see it. Your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind.
When Gandalf Gacha that Frodo's life is in danger, wanted to leave Orthanc, but Saruman prevents Gandalf and a great combat rises. They used Gandalf's extra for this scene, and repeated this jumping several times. Behind the scenes of combat is so stunning. Dozens of people are working with dedication. No doubt this is an amazing job. Gandalf the Grey has no chance to win this battle, because the greatest power among mages was given to Saruman the White. And in the end, Gandalf is captured. After the Isengard Garden, I am heading to where Frodo and Sam had breakfast and the hobbits were hiding from Nazgul. Here is the Mount Victoria in Wellington, the capital. I discovered 4 locations in total here. The first location in the Sea Queens is where Frodo and Sam had breakfast. After parking my car here, I am heading towards the bushwalk. Here I see a sign that shows the Lord of the Rings locations are located in this direction. Follow my steps carefully, because there is no more sign in the rest of the way. I got the first location here in Mount Victoria. That tree is where Frodo and Sam had breakfast. I am walking down there. Finding this place was not easy. I had to look around for many trees to find the true one for hours and hours, and finally I managed to find it. When Sam was sitting right here and cooking salted bacon, sausage and cherry tomatoes, Frodo was leaning down the tree, smoking his pipe, like that. In the next scene, the hobbits were fleeing from Farmer Maggo's crop. I don't know where this scene was shot, but even if I know, there is no detail to be noticed in the background. At least I managed to capture movie scenes frame by frame with behind the scenes footage. Hold on, have you noticed something just before? Are not these Merry and Pippin? If not, who are they? These are the Hobbit's extras. I have explained them in my previous video of Shire. If you haven't watched it yet, I left the link for you to watch. The next location is slightly above where Frodo and Sam had breakfast. If you go left from here, you will find the place of breakfast. If you turn right, you will get the location where the hobbits fell from the hill and the hide from the Nazgul. It is possible to notice the similarities of the trees in my background, despite the more than 20 years that have passed. This is where the hobbits fell on the mat, but there is no mat on the floor right now, so I will make a soft landing. The poor extras threw themselves to the ground over and over for this scene. Thanks, boys. In the next scene, Frodo senses impending evil. This place is only 50 meters from where they fell. It's amazing how that tree branch in the background keeps the same even after 20 years. It defies time. In the pit where the hobbits hide, there is no tree in reality despite what we see in the movie. The producers placed an artificial tree here for the shot. And it's known that this pit was not made for the film, so it was here for the movie. Just above this pit is another spot that looks more like a movie scene. But this is the fake one. But a perfect place to take such a photo, just for fun. Now I am rewinding time a bit to show you the road where Frodo sensed a danger from and Nazgul came along. The Nazgul Road is just 5 minutes away from the Hobbit's Hideaway. Well named because the branches of the tree lie toward the sky and the earth like swords. This place has a gothic feel to it. I am lucky to be here in the daytime. Here is where Nazgul approached the hobbits. The fences on the side of the road were built recently, so don't let the existence of these fences make you suspicious. Dolly zoom effect is used in this scene to add a confusing atmosphere. As the camera goes backward, zoom in to the center.
Get off the road!
The last stop is Weathertop. This was the great watchtower of Amon Sûl. Weathertop is located in the northernmost of the Lord of the Rings locations. I have to admit, it is one of the most challenging locations for me because the information about this place on the internet and in the books is very limited. One of the most breathtaking places I have seen in New Zealand. It's covered with lush green hills until the end of the skyline. However, this is private land and you must get permission from the landowner for entrance. Luckily, they are very kind people. You'll have to descend thousands of hills and then climb back up. Pay attention not to step on mud among human-sized weeds. Otherwise, even the inside of your socks might be covered full of shit. However, you will find yourself in a virgin nature that is worth all your tiredness. There are hundreds of beautiful animals, tens of tiny lakes formed by rains, and thousands of sheep, too many sheep to count. Also, due to lambing season, you are not allowed until before November, so the most convenient time is between December and February. On my first time I was with 3 friends, but none of us noticed Weathertop. 2 months later I came here once more, and finally I managed to find it by asking the local people living around here. Bob Anderson is a sword master. He is training the Lord of the Rings actors. At the moment he is with the Nazguls for the Weathertop scene. We owe him for the realism for the fight scenes. Here he is giving some instructions to Sam's extra. Finally I am at Weathertop. It's worth all the time I spent. Arrived after crossing thousands of streams, hills and swamps. My pants, shoes and even the inside of my socks got muddy. But that's okay. I proudly present Weathertop. This was the great watchtower of Amon Sûl, where Aragorn and Hobbits once camped here. Inside of this curved rock is where the Hobbits camp. It's clear there is no base under the rock, just a cliff, quite unlike the movie scene. It becomes clear that this scene had to be shot in the studio, since there is no actual base. Peter Jackson had successfully solved this issue as well. Behind the scenes of the Nazgul sword training and roleplay. In the next scene, Hobbits see the Nazguls riding to themselves. Then they stop eating and flee up the top. In the studio, which was prepared with grid K, PJ gives instructions to the extras. He places Sam's extra forward. Then, costume department is preparing Nazguls for the shot. After the supervisors check everything one more time and gotcha approval from the director, the shooting begins. Look at those people running around the Hobbits. The behind the scenes is incredibly impressive. What I wouldn't give to be there. Before moving on to the next attack scene, Peter Jackson tells the Nazguls how to get down the stairs. They are going down the stairs slowly, thus adrenaline is rising.
On the air horn, and then one step at a time, very slowly, like you're in a funeral procession, you just start to move down towards the Hobbits, okay?
In the next episode, there are some incredible scenes. Let's see if Arwen attacked by Nazguls can survive this struggle.
Fly, you fools!
After the Fellowship of the Ring lost Gandalf in the mines of Moria, they come across Lake Mirrormere. Beneath the mountains that feed the Mirrormere, the dwarves of the Durin's folk founded the great city of Khazad-dûm in the First Age. More in the next episode. Thanks for watching this far. In the rest of the video you will watch the Weathertop valley that I shot with the drone.